cold, gray February holiday afternoon. Change is only driven by the people who show up. And we must deal with the prevalence of gun violence in this country. Let me give you some statistics. In 2016, more than 39,000 Americans were killed by guns. 96 Americans a day, 7 of them children. Every month, 50 women are killed by their husbands or their boyfriends. And last year, more than 23,000 Americans took their own life with a gun. Do the math. Each one of us is expected to live at least 80 years, right? That means 3 million Americans will die by gun in our lifetimes. That's more, it's 5 times all the combat deaths in every U.S. war put together. That's more than the population of 19 different states. You know, we know what to do, though. We keep hearing this is an impossible, insolvable problem. I lived in Switzerland 4 years. The rest of the world has this figured out. Germany, UK, France, Switzerland, etc., etc. I love the Onion headline. It says, quote, "No way to prevent this," says the only nation where this regularly happens. You know, my generation grew up during the drills where we'd hide under the desk in case the Soviet Union threw nuclear weapons at us. And of course, that never happened. This generation has to drill for something that happens every few days, where the librarian has to count the number of doors in and out of our library. It's completely insane that we accommodate this gun stuff. Last year, I introduced a bill to create something called the Gun Violence Restraining Order. When people are in a crisis, when they're a danger to themselves or others, families and law enforcement should be able to put them on the background checklist. They could have done that with Nicholas Cruz. They could have done that with Joe in Virginia Tech. They could have done that with the young man in Isla Vista. When the warning signs go unheeded, that's when we get in deep trouble. And there are many, many more ideas. Closing the gun show loophole, banning weapons of war, studying gun violence at the CDC. Take away a citizen's right to own a gun. None of these would violate the Second Amendment, and none of these, and all of these, are supported by a majority of the American public. So why haven't we done a single one of these things? Well, we have to look to the elected leaders who refuse to let anything out of committee and refuse to allow a vote on the floor of the Senate or the House. Thoughts and prayers are meaningless. You know, the passive acceptance of gun death is wrong. It is sinful, and it is express complicity in these senseless deaths.
Yes.
The people in charge think that they would just wait this out and not have to do anything. It'll be just like Orlando or Las Vegas or Sandy Hook. After Las Vegas, they couldn't even ban bump stocks. Who among us needs a bump stock? You know, I keep wondering, because I serve with a lot of these people, how does somebody like Paul Ryan go to bed at night with images of the children, the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, these bodies, and not have it haunt his dreams? I promise you, it haunts my dreams. I'm sure it haunts everybody here. You know, when the NRA talks about guns, they talk about freedom. Well, let's push back. What about the freedom to go to school without having to worry? About guns, they talk about the sacred Second Amendment. Well, I thought one of the parents in Parkland put it best. He said, "What makes the Second Amendment more sacred than the life of my child?" A professor at Georgetown 4 years ago wrote a book on paradigm shift. He coined the phrase. And pointed out that all through history, when there's paradigm shift, it's never the old people that do the change. That when Galileo decided the Earth goes around the sun, they had to wait till the old scientists died. And when the guy Lister figured out about germ theory, none of the old doctors accepted that. And we found in recent years it was the young people that gave us marriage equality in America. We need to wake up political leaders and all of us to make this happen. I just want to end with the last line of my favorite Baha'i prayer. It simply says, "With eagerness and patience, With hope and gratitude, I bend to the task of the hour. This is the task of our hour.